Hi guys, welcome to Savvy Money Show with me, your host Sean. Today we're doing something a bit different. We're talking about inventions, marketing, ecosystems, and how they all intersect and how we can gain from them. If you want me to revert back to the old videos, drop me a comment in the box below, or if you want me to do something a bit different, then let me know what you want me to do a video on. I was asked a question, so I thought I would change things up a bit this time. So for those of you who don't know, I do all the sales and marketing for my wife's company, which is a chemical-free skincare company and a chemical-free cleaning company, which is eco-friendly, plastic-free, and yada yada yada, vegan. It's called No Chemicals with a K. If you want any details, just let me know and I'll pass it on to you. It's very popular with people with eczema or skin conditions. But anyway, inventions versus marketing. Inventors find something the world needs, whereas marketers find something they do not and make them think they need it. I apologise for the background noise. We are outside, as I said. Now, to put into perspective, when an inventor started marketing, Watt invented the steam engine, but he had to market it because miners did not want to know about cylinders and gauges, so he invented the horsepower, which is still used today. He would go from mine to mine saying how each train would replace 25 horses, but actually, as horses worked in shifts, it would be more like 50 to 75 horses. So he called the steam train a 25 horsepower engine. He invented a unit that's still in use today. We have to look at two of the biggest companies in the world. You have McDonald's, who have the quarter pounder, and Coke, who are one of the biggest drinks companies. Now, you would think in order to compete with them, you would have to have something that tastes better, that is bigger and costs less, but not necessarily so, because a company that invented the third pounder, it didn't succeed because people didn't realise that a third pounder was bigger than a quarter pounder. And a company that created something with the same taste of Coke, that instead of a 2 litre bottle of Coke, you got 2 1/4 to 2.5 litres, depending on the size, and it was cheaper. They ended up going out of business. They couldn't sell it even when it was at 10% of the cost of Coke. And their biggest competitor now is a company that gives you less liquid than Coke does in their bottles, costs more, and tastes worse. Yes, that's right, it's Red Bull. And no large corporation would have invented Red Bull because it defies logic to put out a product like that. And it's just the marketing that was genius. And it was marketed everywhere. And it was more like a do or die for the company. Yeah, and we're going to move on to the ecosystem. As we all know, Apple are masters of ecosystem. They get you in with one product, and when you're hooked, you end up buying into other products and services, and it's what Apple relies on. Now, but do you know how one thing Apple proves is that we're a species that wants something new, and it's shown with the last few iPhones where nothing has changed except for either the quality of the camera. After all, who needs a 200 megapixel camera when 150 megapixel will do? Or the chip will run slightly faster, you know, and you're paying £600 more for the convenience. There was a TV program in the 90s where they used a product where the iPad was made of X-ray film and it could take your blood pressure, and that has never come to market to current day, because they have so many things they could bring to market, but they just don't, because all they have to do is tweak one or two things, because they have so many people in their ecosystem. But that's not what this is about. We have a cheese company who realised decades ago that people wanted something new and people were paying by weight. So what they did was they made their cheese rindless, marketed it as a new type of cheese. They charged the same amount, but they marketed it as less waste and how you don't have to take the rind off yourself, throw it away. And initially they marketed it as costing less because you're paying per weight, but in fact you ended up paying the same. Everyone else changed theirs to rindless as well. And then what did they do a decade or two later? They went back to putting the rind back on and calling it Authentic Farmhouse and started selling more. Of course, that was better for them because they're charging more for the weight. They don't have to pay someone to take the rind off. And they won both ways, because they had a brand name and they had people in their ecosystem. They were trusted when they said it was Authentic Farmhouse, not just that the difference was rindless and rind on cheese. So with ecosystem comes a trust as well, and if you end up losing that trust, you end up losing not just the customer on one thing, but on everything. So you need to think carefully if you are the person creating that business. Same way you need to think carefully if you're using a business, if you can trust them, and you need to look into them properly. If you have any questions, if you would like me to elaborate on any of this, let me know. Or if you'd like me to do more videos on businesses, put it down in the description.